Hey everybody. One second. Hold on. Hays and Hotties, thanks for waiting for me. Total Murphy's Law. Once I finally plan this live, the baby doesn't want to go to sleep. But it's okay, we got to figure it out. We are going to talk about the importance of a morning routine for moments like this, right? Where things don't always kind of go our way. It's important for us to kind of establish a morning routine to prime ourselves for our day. So, I mean, completely thought I made up this word priming, but turns out it's a total psychological there's a psychological definition to it. It's an extreme kind of in-depth concept. So I'm going to try to explain it in the best way that I can, and also with my own experience with this mindfulness approach and all of that. Okay, so let me see. The importance of a morning routine, like I said, is just to prime yourself for the day. So I'm sure you've had those days where you just get up and you're late for, your alarm didn't go off, whatever, and you just start in this hectic kind of way, right? So what's happening there is that you think you're just like, oh, just a manic morning, just another manic Monday, whatever it is. But really, what your brain is experiencing is just a fight or flight kind of response. So it's important to be aware that that's how you're responding to basically anything else that happens after that time. So, and when you respond to things in that way, it's usually not, your brain is not really set up to respond in an effective way, just in an efficient way. So this means that it's going to, just do whatever it needs to do to kind of survive and get past it, whatever the situation, so you can slow down your heart rate and kind of, move on and not be eaten by a tiger or whatever it is that, your brain is kind of biologically set up to think. Um, so yeah, so if you've had one of those days, that's basically why it's important to kind of start your day right, to get ahead of that like fight or flight feeling, or even negative emotions and negative thoughts. Because another thing that I know I've mentioned to you guys before is when you do wake up, most people operate from this 95% of their subconscious. And your subconscious is kind of filled with all the thoughts and worries from before. So you're essentially waking up with like the same thoughts and problems and worries that you've been thinking about time and time again. So that is something that can be changed, and it's one of the main reasons that morning rituals are so important, is because that's the time that you have available to kind of really influence your mind, because your brain is actually operating in a certain wavelength, and it is the most susceptible to the things that you would like to start thinking, right? So another reason why it's important to hold off on looking at your phone, social media, emails, things like that, things that could kind of, trigger some of those negative thoughts, fight or flight responses, so on and so forth. So that would be like the first thing that I would recommend in terms of, establishing a morning routine, is just don't even look at your phone until at least 30 minutes, because it's the first 20 minutes that your brain is actually the most susceptible and the most susceptible to any kind of influence, both negative and positive. So yeah, so I would say like at least an hour. I mean, at least 30 minutes. An hour would be ideal. So yeah, so let's just talk about real quick what priming is, and I'm going to use my notes just so that I don't get it wrong. So priming is just taking the time to adjust your thoughts and emotions. Like I said, get ahead of all the negative things that your brain is just, it's not that you're a negative person or anything like that. Your brain is just biologically kind of wired that way for survival. So no worries there. Um, in the psychological sense, priming is how one situation affects your response to the next situation. So, again, like I was saying before, negative emotions basically breed negative experiences and situations. If you can just think of a time where you were very angry or you got some really bad news, and then the next thing that happened to you could have been extremely minor, but because you're already in this heightened state of negativity, you blew up or you reacted in a way that was just not favorable, right? And also on the flip side, positive emotions. So like think of the time where you like met your husband or something like that, or you're like major crush and you're just like goo goo gaga, and you're in this like great state, high vibe, high flying state, and then something happened, and then your response to it was just more cash, more positive, right? So like you didn't see it as anything detrimental or whatever. If anything, it was much less, it held much less weight for you. So that is how priming yourself, your thoughts, your emotions can kind of, in the first start of your day, right, is super powerful, because what follows is the rest of your day and the rest of the situations and things that might come up and people or whatever. So you are more likely to respond in a much more favorable way throughout your day the more you practice this. So that's another part of priming, is repetition. um, so like the better, the more you practice these kind of priming examples, or morning rituals to kind of prime yourself. And I'll get into the different things you can do to prime yourself first thing in the morning. The more you practice those things, the better responses you'll have, the better situations you'll have, the better experiences you'll encounter, the better life you'll have. And that's it in a nutshell. And I am going to keep this fairly short, and I'll explain why in a little bit. Um, yeah, so, and also another point about priming is that your brain is actually much more, so there's something called negative and positive priming, and your brain is actually much more capable of processing and remembering positive situations, positive priming versus negative, because, and that's one of the reasons that some of the affirmations I have you guys do are in a positive statement. I am such and such, I will such and such. Um, and versus like, I won't do this, I won't have a burger ever in my life, or I don't want this to happen to me. So those negative things, not only does your subconscious not understand negative and positive, so it'll just give you that, but also your brain is more likely to remember positive statements. And the more your brain is kind of able, so the more you feed it positive statements, like positive affirmations, mantras, whatever you want to call them, the more it's going to be looking for those things in your experience and show you how to attain those things. So if you say, I am a healthy human being, for instance, it's going to look for evidence that you're a healthy human being, because it's positive and you keep repeating it over and over again every single day. And it's going to look for those experiences in your life. So the next time you see, um, a workout class, you get inspired to take it, or the next time are at the grocery store, you're just making better decisions. It's things like that. So priming yourself at the beginning of your day just basically translates into a better day. So, and listen, if it doesn't, you always have tomorrow. Okay, so the first thing you should always do is wake up and say, thank you instead of waking up with those negative thoughts and emotions. It's much easier for you to start priming yourself. Okay, so let's get into it, right? Let's get into the things that you can practice. So you can definitely practice gratitude. You can definitely practice visualizations, affirmations. You can practice meditating. What else? And also just, affirmations, mantras, and also kind of, just sending your energy out into the world. So these are the things that are available for you to prime yourself and change that any state that you might be in, negative or positive, depending. Most people, like I said, are operating from a negative place. So that's why it's so important to get really intentional with your morning. And you guys, this is not come super easy. This takes a lot of practice. Most likely when you wake up in the morning, you'll just hit the snooze button and go back to sleep, and then, start off in that chaotic state. And that's okay if you are determined, though, and ready and willing to kind of understand that this has value, that there's value in being really intentional with your thoughts and emotions, especially at the beginning of your day. Then you will make the effort, and it takes really not much more amount of time, right? This whole practice can be 10 minutes, 5 minutes if you really want it to be. It's just up to you. It's totally up to you. It's totally about the results you want to attain. It's totally about the commitment that you're willing to put in, and that's the results you're going to get back. So I hope that this has encouraged you to maybe start thinking about some of the things that you would like to incorporate first thing in your day. And oh yeah, there's prayer. There's like a bunch of different things that you can start off your day. The only thing that I will mention is that I don't think that there's anything that will replace meditation. Okay, so that's what I think. Just because it's one of the things that just literally and physically, neurologically changes your brain to make this process easier, right? So this is like, at first, this practice is very forced almost, right? Until you kind of get the hang of it. And then, but there's literally nothing that can exercise your mind like meditation. So no matter what elements you incorporate into your morning routine, I think meditation is something that is kind of a non-negotiable. At least it is in my life, because I've seen the benefits. So if I can, encourage you and invite you to try to incorporate that into your life, I definitely do. And yeah, so hopefully this will answer some of your questions as to like why it's important. I hope it's something that you were not maybe aware of before and now you are. Maybe it's something that you have been doing but weren't really sure why you were doing it, and you're maybe just looking for some results. Then hopefully this will clear just some things up for you. And I really hope that it encourages you to. I was talking to one of my Zen hotties the other day, and she mentioned that she doesn't have to commute anymore. So that means a lot of you guys actually don't have to commute anymore. So your excuse of I don't have enough time is getting pretty weak. So you guys don't have to commute anymore. You guys have plenty of time to start practicing this, and practicing and implementation is everything. I could get in here and talk until I'm blue in the face and tell you guys all my processes, and it won't matter, because unless you do it for yourself and try it for yourself and see what works and what doesn't work, what you like and what you don't like. But again, remember, if you're establishing anything, give it a week, give it two. Especially if you really don't like it, I would give it at least 2 weeks to see if there's rhyme or reason to why you don't like it. Okay, so yes, that's it. So I'm really glad that this was one of the topics you guys were more interested in. I kept it short, A, because my daughter's still awake, and B, because I have something super exciting coming up for the new year. in regards to your wellness routines, your morning rituals, night routines, all of that. Um, and I cannot wait to share it with you guys. I almost feel like dropping the bomb right now, but I'll be sharing it with you day after Christmas. If you're on the newsletter, obviously you guys will be hearing about it, about a week before. So stay tuned. The only thing I will let you know is that it pertains to this. And yeah, like I said, I'm super excited that you guys are interested in this subject. I really hope that it actually sparked more questions in you because I would love to answer them for you. I know I was like, late on here and stuff today, and I know some of you couldn't make it. You guys already told me that you couldn't make it, but you can always send in your questions because, I just kind of get on here and talk about what I think you guys want to, know about. But if you guys have specific questions, that's what's going to really help me because then I'll be able to really tailor this message to exactly what you guys know and don't know, and what's really going to be valuable for you and valuable for your time. Okay, you guys. So, yeah, that announcement's coming the 26th. It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. But for now, let me know if you guys have any more questions. Let me know if this was insightful for you. I would love to hear about it. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon.